Good morning. It's time for Precision Talk. I'm Marketing Manager Frank Olmstead with HTS Ag, and joining us, Technology Advisor Jay Robinson. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, Frank. How are you today?
Fantastic, sir. Fantastic. I know we're getting close to guys being in the field, which I feel like we've been saying for the last four or five Precision
Yeah,
Talks.
yeah.
And I think now we're really getting close with the in between rains and 80-degree Wednesdays. It's hard to imagine we're not close.
I finally saw at least a few of them running down the road transporting, so I think they're getting staged up, but it's everybody gets ready to rock and roll and then we get a little bit of rain, but I think it's we're about to go time here. I know some people up north got some hail and not some good stuff, but
Yeah.
I think there's going to be sections that are ready to rock and roll, and I know everybody's chomping at the bit, so it is time.
So we're past the stage where we could probably get you outfitted with a full planer system like Sure Force or Sure Speed or Sure Drives. And if you have those systems and something needs repaired, always give us a call. We can help you with that. But I wanted to kind of move on past sprayers because we talked about right spot and what that can do for farmers for a while. What do you do with that crop that you're currently planting this year? And the answer is always OPI.
Yes, it is. And it seems kind of odd that we haven't talked about Opie in a while, when it seems like, we go at a stretch where that's all we say is just beating a dead horse all the time. But yeah, with the seed about ready to go into the ground, we want to look forward to the harvest. I know it seems long way down the road, but now is the time to get those systems inside your bins, because what we're talking about is being able to see, monitor, and even make corrections to the grain that's inside the bin that you are working so hard right now to plant into the ground. And that's the piggy bank. I heard somebody say that to me before. You go all this time and all of the hard work and the repairs and the time outside and the time away and the time in the field and all the stress and everything else to get the seed into the ground and then take care of it so that you can harvest it. And why? Because that's where the money is. That's where you sell. That's what gets your payback for all the hard work. We don't want you to go all the way through the process, put it in a bin and let it rot, or let it have a bad spot that docks you at the elevator. Like, we just want to. This system is going to allow you to not just do a sniff test to make sure everything's looking all right. We're going to be able to tell you what the condition is all around the bin and down in the center, down on the edges, where the sun hits it, what the CO2 is doing. So we just want to make sure that we're protecting your investment and all the time and hard work that you did picking that out of the field. And now you've got something to hold on to as long as you need to, because it's good.
Absolutely. And there's an actual return on it. I know it kind of sounds like we're just hanging cables in your bin and you can get on your computer and see what it's doing, which is nice in and of itself, but there's an actual return. And that's
Yes.
before it really saves your whole bin from going bad and costing you a
Right.
lot of income there. The real ROI is in the cost it takes to run that bin.
Yes. We've got our own, not just like an ISU or a Purdue University. We've done side by side testing of our own. And we've got calculators that we'd like to share with you as well. But the back in the day, the way we used to do it, you'd kick on the fan, you let it run for a few days and see, we'll give a smell test, take a cup out, try to test it as best you can. But you're running all that power, that propane, if you've got a heater on it. And do you know if it's the right times or not? And with the system, not to get into too many of the weeds here, but the savings is coming from the electricity of that fan's not running if it's not helping. And I think that's the biggest thing is if you were going to add moisture to beans, if you've got the right CFM with your fans, you want to put some moisture back into the bin. Well, you only want to run that when moisture is going to go into the bin. You don't want to be running the fan when there's drier air, because you're taking two steps back and you're paying for it. So if you get the fan control and you want to dry corn, let's say, you've got, what the corn is inside that bin at all times, because those readings are sending every 60 seconds, if not every 2 seconds, depending on Epic or Blue or what you got. But you know what's going on in there. And if the air outside, when you set your parameters, you can tell it to kick on when this works, but turn off when this doesn't. So it's a go, no go. You're never running the fan when it's not helpful. I think that's the biggest thing is you need to use electricity to do all this, but you don't need to waste it when you're not helping yourself. So I think that's the major ROI on the OP system itself, is the electricity savings while conditioning your grain to where you need it and never taking two steps back when you take one step forward.
Absolutely. It's almost like the old Ronco rotisserie chicken fryers.
That's
You set it and forget it. And
set it and
it's like that
forget it.
because you set it and it automatically takes care of what you're wanting, but
That's
you're never
right.
going to forget about it because what's in that bin is way too important to
Exactly.
mismanage.
Exactly. And I know we talked about the conditioning part of it, and the other part is we and I mentioned before protecting it. You don't want anything to go wrong. Well, the CO2 sensors now is not just down below, but we've got a headspace CO2 sensor. And between those two, you can watch the ppm, the parts per million of the CO2 in that bin. If it starts to creep up, you're actually going to see that go higher before you ever see a hot spot, before you ever like the mold or fungus or bugs or whatever might be doing it. They're organic, and so they give off CO2. So if your CO2 is rising, that's an indicator that something's going on. But that is a faster way to tell if something's happening than waiting for a hot spot to develop and then making a decision. Because at that point, you could draw some out, you could recycle, there's all sorts of things you can do to stop the spread of that to continually protect the investment of what's in that grain bin. Because that's what you're going to go sell. You want to make the absolute most on that grain that you took all that time and put all that hard work into planting and harvesting. And this is going to give you eyes on it all the time and even watch it when you're not.
Absolutely. So, Jay, if you have any questions on OPI Grain Management, how can we get a hold of you?
Yeah, give us a call here at 712-744-4468. My email here is J, the letter J, Robinson at HDS Ag, but we've got a great group here. So if you call the office, I'm sure almost anybody will get you on the right track and they can all find where I'm at too. So yeah, give me a holler and we can go through the ROI. We have different systems. If you've got bins out in the middle of a field that's not even on your farm, we've got options for that now. Epic is going to be able to allow us to tie even multiple bins that aren't next to an internet source. So let us know what you're thinking, and we'll just run down the list of what we can see works and pair it up with you and go from there. So
Absolutely. So, like Jay said, give us a call at 712-744-4468 on the web at hdsag.com or find us on Facebook, X, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, all at HDSAG. Thanks, Jay.
thanks, Frank.